All right, family. I don't like when I'm right, but this was one of those, even before the season started, that I didn't think we'd win. I will say, though, after watching it, and I wasn't there for it was definitely a frightening night for FAMU. You already know what's about to be. Thanks up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does!
And that might be the knockout punch.
Greetings, salutations. Hey, man. The day after trick or treat, the day after Halloween, definitely was a nightmarish game. What's up, little baby? Woo. Uh, it's been a weekend, right? If you're a fan, you fan. It was a tough weekend. Volleyball kind of let it off. They hit the struggles. They're still kind of on the struggle bus, losing season right now. So they're gonna grow. But one thing that we need to grow, membership of Rattler Boosters, join team on the team. I think the cheapest is like 25, 50. Most expensive goes above that. Really trying to push that life membership. So is Billy Napier still in Florida? I don't know, man. Good question, John Jones. So Teresa. Oh Lord, this is a hot mess. What's up, Gail? Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. Also, St. Clair. What's up, Christopher Dukes? He was definitely at the game. We got some okay questions in there, man. So we'll see. I might see if I can get in there for that sweat media call or something. Cause yeah. Also, we are doing our race for 10K. So if you are so inclined, support the track team. One of those non-revenue sports. Need as much help as we can get. So let's see. I heard that too, though. Look, you ain't the only one who said that. 80 Suggs is there. But first, we did mention the volleyball team. Yeah, we'll put on a small screen today. Loss. Again, I give grace because you produce enough championships or you've earned it. That's just where I'm at with it. I'm not overly upset. No, it's kind of a young team. They need your support too, though. So, they got a game coming up against Cookman. Check the schedule. What's up, Hollow? You didn't miss much. But yeah, I did hear the Mighty Quinn was in the building. So, let's see. I got an APV on AD's soon to be on the head coach. We need Super Duke to go on the phone. Yeah, I do. I would not be surprised. I just don't want to see Terrell Buckley. I'll say that out loud. I don't. I've seen the Orlando Guardians thing. I think it would be cool what his offense has kind of done at Valley. Maybe give it a more talent, see what it can do. But another Seminole as a head coach will be a tough sell for Rattler Nation. Michigan sells though, and Seminoles season tickets, basketball on sale, and they both play tomorrow, like both of them. So there's guy schedule, there's girl schedule, and tomorrow the ladies will be at FSU at the Tucker Center. The guys gonna be down in Tampa at the Yingling Center. So just saying, Look, Uncle Steve said, let the crowd coach. And he said, it's bad when you're stating the volleyball highlights. Hey, I mean, I normally do football last, but yeah, it's pretty rough in these streets, man. Charlotte Ward. We need winners. I agree. And let's get basketball season tickets going. 150. Yeah. Definitely gonna try and catch a few games. I'm gonna miss a game tomorrow just because y'all know we are doing our Monday night wrap up. So we leading that. So I'll keep an eye out on it though. So maybe on the laptop. I'll have it ready. Uncle Steve, you look if you are so inclined, you are more than welcome to join us on the Monday night wrap up. Yeah. Football, man, I don't even have notes for that crap. I couldn't rewatch it though, man. What's up, Aaron B? Man, it was a great day to celebrate a good Noop. Happy birthday to one of my frat brothers. We celebrated his brother birthday at the back porch there. So Benny Parker, happy birthday, good brother right there. And Steve said, all I can say about Saturday's game was the environment was electric and the March 100 made me proud. They slugged it out with a boom. I like what I heard. And just kind of watching the game, right? We're gonna break down. We're gonna try to find some film. I'm gonna try to be lazy and see if I can steal some for Jackson. But I think the big word for the game, and I was hoping we got a little different, extra post game, it was the last one, didn't make it. I wanted to hear somebody ask a question about adjustments because defensively, I'll start on defense. I see a lot of adjustments. I saw the same thing over and over again. And it's almost like the definition of insanity at this point. You keep doing the same thing over and over and you're expecting different results. You're running this 3 down front. You have an linebacker, sometimes a safety, running up against a 270, almost 300-pound offensive tackle. He gets owned. He can't set the edge. And all of a sudden you're wondering why you can't set the edge. It's because you're outsized. Like at some point, the adjustment has to be made. And at times you made the adjustment to a 4-down line. But I think it starts there. Another game where you get eviscerated by the other team's run game. Jackson State's running back was approaching 100 yards at half. Going into the third quarter, he had over 100. First half, I believe he gave about 200 yards. We'll verify that tomorrow, right? But just in general, right, it was an abject disaster. And there's no nice way of putting it because the first half was solid, though. Like you go back, you watch the first half, and I definitely had a comment from Jackson. Try to, oh, man, we dominated y'all for 4 quarters. It's like, you could have. You didn't. Like the first half, man, you missed opportunities. But the play calling sucked too. Like, and Uncle Steve says, no adjustments. We knew what they were doing, and they knew, and they were going to do it. They run the ball for 9:32, and RJ shows exactly who he is. I mean, no, I decided not to have that good argument with another brother previously on socials, but it's just another example. Defensively, I don't disagree with Colsey when he stated that he did not put the team in the best position to succeed. I agree. I think in the first half, I think the worst thing that we've seen throughout this season is his commitment to have tight games. Like you keep hearing, keep the game close, keep the game close, keep the game close. Bless that. Bust a person over the head if you can. And if you can't, you still hit them real hard. Like, I don't like the idea of us having this mentality of keeping games close. And defensively, you even heard it in the halftime speech, first quarter speech. Bend don't break defense. Bend don't break defense. At a certain point, as a team and to a man, you're overly conservative. Scared money don't make money. And I feel like at times when we're watching this team, it's the definition of scared money. You're watching a team where the coaching staff is making decisions that are probably a little too conservative. Even defensively, you're trying to protect and prevent some things opposed to just saying, you know what? If you beat me deep, you beat me deep. You're trying to keep everything in front of you versus probably being a little more aggressive and living with the results. And so I think defensively, that was the first thing I started off with. And I wanted to get there first because offensively, no, you're not going. No. We're not going to let that slide. We were nice. We were cordial. We went with a spin. I can't say I even tried to give the pass. Like, okay, stats say what they say. Even though I don't believe the stats say what they say. But I think defensively it wasn't a well-called game. You saw some of the crossing routes earlier kind of open up. And let's be honest, Jackson State's quarterback, he wasn't great. He wasn't spectacular. He missed some passes. They showed that. And I think the damning part of this, right? The commentator, the color commentator with Tiff was saying everything we say. It wasn't that. And I don't dislike Jay Walker, right? He do have a little hate. He hate in his heart sometimes, right? But he was dead honest. Like, he was so honest about what went on in that game. And he was saying, you're not doing this right. You're not doing that right. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And you could hear him asking all the questions that us fans asked. And none of us got answers. I think that was the most damning part of it. Like, and it led to the results that you ended. Tackling was okay for a lot of the game, considering at a certain point, that brother was averaging 9 yards per run. So a lot of that's due to the defensive front, and that goes back to where the commentator is saying the offensive linemen are getting to the second level. It's too easy. Why is that happening? Because of you're not adjusting. You're running the same defense, and you're just saying, this is my defense. I'm going to stick with it. That was terrible. And it didn't work. Like, that wasn't good. Oh, I got to disagree with you, Hollow. I got to disagree with you. That kicker definitely had a coffee kick. He had some nice punts. Like, again, early on, I can't tell you that special teams killed us. I think coaching killed you. I definitely would go there. And while we're there, let's go ahead and go to the offensive side. That was trash. I don't care who was calling plays. I don't care if it's Burris. I don't care if it's Colsey. I don't care if it's receivers coach. I don't care if it's Marva. That was trash. It was so formulaic. This was FAMU's entire offense for 90% of the game. And we went away from it. It went better. It was run play. Normally a run play up the middle on first down. A half-hearted pass on second down where the quarterback probably missed his reads, and a screen on third down. That was it. Those were pretty much all your play calls. Oh, and don't forget the reverse. We start running that FSU reverse that they stole from FSU. It did make sense. Even the commentators like, why are you trying to beat them on the outsides? That doesn't make sense. Like, it just wasn't. It wasn't a game that made sense. And offensively, RJ didn't look good. He didn't have any turnovers. I'm here for anybody that wants to make that argument. I'll listen to it. But he wasn't spectacular. He protected the ball. But what is protecting the ball when you're getting 3 and outs? That's still a turnover, right? It's a turnover on downs, opposed to a different kind of turnover. So you kind of watched it, and you could see where somewhere there's a disconnect. Still, like, you're going to have a losing season. You might win one more game. You should. You have the talent to win out. But when you're watching it, and we've seen RJ grow, he's developed a lot. He definitely got rid of the ball a little faster. Not always to the right place, but it still was trash. Like, it wasn't enough. You had some drop passes still. You still had some drop passes. But when you're watching the games, we beat poor talent. That was my entire. These stats look really good. Stats look good against bad talent. Like you we don't give the Harlem Globetrotters credit for their winning record because they're playing the Washington Generals. Like, it's a surprise when the Washington Generals win. In this case, you beat the bottom feeders of this conference in the top team of a conference that's below you. And I think in every home game, don't quote me on that because I ain't said stuff yet, right? That's the Jim Jones line, the rapper, not the Kool-Aid man. I think every home game, you gave up almost 30 points. I could be wrong. Let me argue some data right fast. Every home game, nope. Albany State, you gave up 25. Every other game, though, Alcorn State, 28. So every home game, you gave up 25 points. What the hell are you doing? Defensively. Like, not trying to jump around, but defensively. You give up 25 points every game. This is one of the worst defenses I've seen in FAMU history. And offensively, another game where against a good team, you could muster 20 points. Like, I don't know if it's just the coaching philosophy of we're going to run the ball, we're going to run the ball, we're going to run the ball, or I don't know. Like, I'm with some of y'all where at a certain point, are you sabotaging yourself? Are you being sabotaged by the staff? Because at some point, somebody don't want to win. That's what it feels like, just as a fan. Like, if we're being honest. And yesterday, I had the benefit of watching the game from the friendly confines of the house and being a fan and not being media. That didn't look like you wanted to win. That looked like the first half looked like a team who couldn't get out their own way, right? And it looked like a team who offensively didn't know what the heck they were doing. Because if you get a touchdown, maybe two, it's 41-16. The game's competitive. But it goes back to just the overly conservative nature of this team. Even Gerald asked the question, hey, going in the half, why'd you take a knee? You overacting like you about to get the ball back after halftime. Like, taking a knee after half is reserved for the team that is not desperate for a win. Like, not saying Jackson State wasn't desperate, but you're desperate as FAMU because all the implications. Jackson State loses that game, it's an upset. FAMU loses this game, and in this fashion, another game, every one of your losses at home, B2A. You've only won 2 games in the state of Florida. That's trash. You lost in Boca, that was expected. You lost in Miami, that was horrible. You've lost in Bragg 3 out of 5 times. Like, I don't buy the whole thing people feared Bragg thing, especially the new Bragg. New Bragg is not the old Bragg. It ain't 25,000 people in there. It ain't 40,000 people in there. Like, I've been in Bragg when there's 40,000 people in there. That was different. Man, 18,000 in Bragg. It don't hit the same. It feels good, but it don't hit the same. But when you're watching this over and over, and this was my concern when we was like, hey, we're going to keep doing this thing. You're going to learn through attrition in the places that you can't learn through attrition. FAMU is not a place to learn on the fly in key positions, especially football. Football, you are the revenue sport. Basketball can do a little something, but not like football. And at a certain point, you have to do that cost-benefit analysis. Because go back and watch the game. It's hard. It's a tough watch. third quarter, you're looking at a dude that's kind of spinning. Like, what the heck is going on? What are we not doing right? And he almost got that look like he almost expected that Herm Edwards conversation in the end zone. If I'm being honest, like, I could lie about this, or I could be the realest guy in the room, right? I'll be real. He looks like when he walked off the field, he expected Michael Smith and Angela Suggs to meet him there and be like, appreciate it, my boy. You can hand in your key card. That was the look on his face. I'm not saying that should happen. Again, I've never called for a coach to be fired. Like, so anybody who's, oh yeah, nope, I've never done that. I don't do that. I've definitely first guest coaches. I've first guest athletic directors. I think the only coach I can ever remember saying they should have never been fired was the bowling coach, or hired. Sorry. Probably said Tiff shouldn't have been hired either, coaching wise. Can't speak for administrators, but when you're looking at this game, right, offensively, you don't have an identity. And you have an identity. It's just trash. It's, we're going to run this run first offense. We're going to really try to run the ball up the gut in the middle and try to be the more physical dominant team. But you play to the strength of your opponent. Like, that's why I said there's no adjustments. We all knew. We, not the coaches. We, you, me, we knew the strength of Jackson State was that defensive line. Give credit where credit is due. Scotty, off script, said, hey, you want to beat them, you got to throw against them. Like, so you're seeing people who are prognosticators, armchair quarterbacks, and I'm not, but the layperson saying, hey, I don't think you can really just run the ball against that team like that. It didn't work. But you kept doing it. And you did it to where it was scripted. Like, to the point where I know on the fifth quarter page, I literally joked about it. Like, FAMU has a tendency. First down, run. Second down, pass. Third down, screen. Like, it was so formulaic that you knew what FAMU was going to do before they did it. Like, and it didn't make sense. Like, no adjustments were made. Even with the receiver routes, you finally do get a touchdown to my favorite guy in the receiver room, Ace Cobb. But too little, too late. Like, where was any of it to really help RJ get rid of the ball? I did like seeing him move around. I liked the read option that he used. I don't think he gave the ball up enough for the read option. Like, I think there was a lot of the halfback draw play, but I didn't see it. And I didn't really see the tight ends used very often. I feel like at times the tight ends are better pass catchers than the receivers. The offensive line is still trash, but you helped them out a little bit. Like, they had their moments. Again, Jackson State's a really good defensive line. So when you're saying our offensive line is trash, it's also against a really good D line, right? So I kind of take that with a grain of salt, right? I probably should say it's trash. They're compromised against good defensive lines. The receivers had a few drops, but overall, the offense just didn't get in sync. And the concern for me is this: going in against, hopefully you're flying the UAPB, but looking at the second half of your schedule, right? These are the bottom dwellers of the conference, but they're also teams that can score. And what you've shown as a team is that you can't score. And so at a school with a fan base that is overly used to scoring points, shootouts, not, boom, 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 but offensive shootouts against good teams, you're averaging less than 20 points a game. Like, any team with a pulse is shutting you out for the most part. Like, and Hollow, that's where I'm at with it. Like, at this point, show me where you are going to beat those teams. FAU 14, Bama State 14, North Carolina Central 7, Jackson State 16. And that 16 was partially because of a late touchdown. Like, you should not have scored more than 10 points against Jackson. Yet, in the first half, you were still in the game. Like, you're playing against Arkansas Pine Bluff next. Alabama A&M's offense is mid, and Cookman's offense is on fire right now. Like, how are you going to, one, rectify the situation, right? Because let's call a spade a spade. And I said this before. You have, with new leadership, I don't have loyalty to you. I don't care that man went to Florida State or not. You, at a certain point, you got to make some money. And if the decision ain't gonna make no sense, then you're really gonna lose a fan base. And this is a spot where now you're hurting the bottom line, because I'll be at the Classic, but I can tell you now, I know a lot of y'all won't be, especially when I heard AD Drew mention this earlier. You're having a government shutdown and people making business decisions. And one of those business decisions is, do I go to the Classic or do I pay my bills? Do I want to go out there and kind of enjoy life a little bit, or do I want to be responsible? You're trying to have people choose enjoyment. And if that part, if you're not scoring 17, what are you doing? Like, that Cookman team's over there touching 30 a game. Like, the big issue with this, the special teams did have its moments, right? Offensively and defensively, though, these are areas of promise. Like, I think as a fan, when you're watching what FAMU was projected to be, you were kind of sold a bale of goods. Like, this offense should be potent, this defense should be good, return to the dark cloud defense. Like, there ain't no dark clouds. It's ain't no clouds at all. No overcast, no nothing. Like, this is nothing. Like, and at this point, look, it's not about being fired. It's about being accountable and competent. A head coach is not volunteer work. Coach is getting more than what people work, and he's putting in terrible products. I mean, I'm being honest. If I'm AD, I got a short list. I mean, I always have a short list, but I'm making calls. And to be real with it, I don't call Quinn Gray. I love the idea. I think you make a call you should have made before. I think you do a Willie part too. Like, I didn't call the PV. I told y'all, PV, John C. Smith, proven winners. I don't need no celebrities. I don't love FAMU alums as coaches. It doesn't normally work in revenue sports. Mickey Clayton is the only revenue sport coach that graduated from FAMU. Yeah, hello. He was at Valdosta State. Now he's over there and he's about to win the division. They almost beat Alabama State. Like, I don't know about that, man. I'll say this, and I say Bridgewater, as a head coach, I don't know if he's ready yet. He's still kind of, you're a little immature. Like, I thank you. I knew he did. Like, probably OBG. Like, do you want him? That's my question. I would have loved to have Smitty. I said that from where it goes. Smitty was my guy. I think we all know why he didn't get the job. Largely because he's white. But, you know, it is what it is with that. I think when you're kind of looking at this, though, at a certain point, you're going to have to be a Jeremy Foley. And for those who don't know, he was former athletic director, University of Florida. That which must be done eventually must be done immediately. And if you're going to be bringing in all these people who say they're bringing in all this money, you cannot have this kind of football season. You just can't, because it doesn't just hurt football. It hurts everybody. You got rid of OC last year. You got rid of DC last year. You got rid of a lot of people on staff. And the results are worse. Like, we could be honest, or we could lie about this. This is a worse product than it was last year. Last year, you definitely had a better quarterback. But I think there are definitely questions and things that have to be asked going forward about just this team, because I don't think the kids have given up, but I also don't believe they're fully bought into everything that's going on. Like, I think they're kind of looking around and they look at who's in the room, who's not in the room. They look at who's on the field, who's not on the field, and they start asking those questions, because anybody who's played sports asks those questions. Why is he in the game? Why is he still in the game? Why is when this guy plays, he gets pulled? When that guy plays, he gets played 4 quarters. Like, that's just me. And that's where I'm at with it. Like, I don't see you making that move without a mentor. And I think just kind of looking out, like, I don't think you're wrong. But I think more importantly, the fan base is too. Like, I think after the Central game was when you really lost the fan base. Like, I think Alabama State, folks kind of came, but it was like, but it's just saying, like, and Bridgewater knows as much as Deshaun knows, and he's turned a 2-win team around. Yeah. Okay. We gotta also, with this Deshaun thing, we gotta be honest. Deshaun Jackson also recruited his way out of that problem. It's not just coaching. Like, we did the same thing with Prime, and folks was just like, oh, he's a great coach. He had better talent. Deshaun Jackson raised the floor at Delaware State, and he created a new recruiting pipeline that never existed. It's called California. And he brought recruits with him. Like, he's got some coaching experience. He's not completely devoid of experience. But the other thing is, he brought recruits with him to a place that did not have that recruiting background. And at Delaware State, when they've had access to superior recruits, they've had superior results. Go back and look. Some of their better years, they had some Florida boys on that team. They had some guys from not necessarily that area. I think that's one of the things you kind of got to look at when you're looking at Delaware State. We can't just solely look at the results and be like, oh, man, Deshaun Jackson, he's a solid coach so far. Yeah, I ain't going to lie about that. But the other thing that he's done really well, he recruited well. And he really elevated the floor of that football team. I think with FAMU, I think the frustrating part that we see is you recruited well. You're just not doing anything with what you recruited. Like, Go back and watch the game. Again, it's a very tough watch. Go watch number 90 Donald on defensive line. Oh, he was eating. Like, he's dominating for a lot of that game. Problem is, you have 3 linemen going against 5, sometimes 6. What is he going to do? Like, you have a guy that can really raise some havoc, but he's outmanned. And that was a problem. Like, just kind of looking at this season, I think what's going to end up happening, change is going to happen. I mean, I've avoided saying that part, but he said it. He said it himself. You don't win a classic, don't win homecoming, you won't be there. That's half true. The other part is, especially lose to Cookman and get B2A at home. I think that was maybe the piece that was missed of, you got to win games and brag. You can't be having losing seasons, especially 2 years removed from a Celebration Bowl. It's a completely different team, right? I don't even really address that team like that. But you got to completely change some stuff there, man. And they were a high-powered offense. And that's why, for me, I don't necessarily need a defensive specialist. Like, it's cool. If your defense is your thing, that's great. When the last time you won a championship with a defensive specialist? Like, I'll wait. Again, I like trends. I like numbers. But you can't have that. And exactly. Especially folks having a PR tool. Like, you over there messing up the party. In their city. Like, okay, not their city. They don't live in Orlando. They live in Winter Garden. But I digress. Like, you have to do something different, Keith, from who you don't have stability in athletic department and who wants to be head coach with ADs leaving every 18 months. I think FAMU's still attractive. I'll say this. When it comes to the athletic director stuff, you're going to get an answer in a few days. I mean, we already know what's up. You've already read the blogs. You already know what's up. You know, the streets have told you what the answers is, right? And the streets have told you what's going to happen with that. I think when you're looking at this, part of the problem with the athletic directors is the vision, right? I don't, and with, Nuke, when you come in there, just follow through. Like, honestly, we kind of know what's up. Just follow through. Like, you're the person, you're the face. As the face, follow through on getting stuff done. Fix facilities. Fire people. Hire people. But create a place that's stable. Like, it's FAMU's, for as dysfunctional as FAMU is, we continue to be the number one public HBCU, which is crazy. Like, for as dysfunctional as FAMU athletics is, you set a primetime spot when people really knew you weren't going to win the game. Like, y'all know I didn't sell you that one. I was, oh yeah, we're in it for now. Now it's over. So when you're kind of looking at that, I think a coach still wants the FAMU job because exactly what Tremaine Jackson's doing at Prairie View. Y'all know this man is begging. Like, and I'm not trying to say that to like diminish the brother, but he's literally begging people to come to a stadium that seats 10,000 people. That's the size of a high school stadium. And you're literally asking people to show up. And you're finishing with crowds of 3,000 and 5,000 fans. 5,000 on a good day. Nobody cares about what the weather says because your attendance a lot of times counts the number of tickets sold. So you didn't show up in the first place. You didn't buy the tickets. So whether you went through the turnstile or not, you normally get counted. So miss me on some of that. You literally have this guy saying, "Where's my line? Where's the line?" You was lined up for the State Fair Classic. There was a line wrapped around the building. It's homecoming. RV spots are sold out. Where's my line? You have the best team in the conference coming into town. And Buddy is sitting over there like, will you please buy some tickets? Like, can we get 3 in a piece? You might have had 2,000 people in there to see the number 1 team in the conference. What could be a preview of the SWAC championship game. And you had like 3,000 people that's soaking wet. You think you're going to stay there? You think he wants to stay there? Versus, let's be honest. We know that don't cuss. That is a zombie of a football team that FAMU has. And you still getting 13,000, 15,000, 18,000, 25,000 for homecoming in a stadium that seats 18. Like, it's not unattractive because even when you're losing, y'all folks still showing up. Like, the stadium's over half full and you're losing. Like, and you're playing bad football. It ain't even like, oh man, you losing, but you know, we got a good brand of ball up there. Nah, man, that football look like trash. Like, you put up a good show against Southern and you put up a good show against Auburn. 2 of the worst teams in the conference. And you struggled with Albany State. So, in what place are you putting good stuff up there for people to see to make them be like, man, I'm just coming to the game, man. It's going to be a good one today. You lost 3 out of 5 home games. In 2 of those, one of those was against one of the worst teams in the conference. The other was against a Division II team. You don't think FAMU is attractive? They might have some nice facilities over there, but you got 3,000 people in the stands. Heck, you can come to FAMU. I already lived that life. I applied for that job once, right? I know I can get 15 in there. Easy. Let alone we winning. Oh, it's packed every week except for the week 4 Classic and homecoming. Like, I'm just saying. Honestly, I've been told directly the AD thing is not the issue. It's going to be without our APR. Oh, yeah. I told y'all APR. I told y'all APR before the season. You're not. I think that's the only reason you might not make a coaching change. Because either way, you won't be going to a Celebration Bowl. That's the big thing. Like, just saying. And look, he says, I honestly believe our coaches did not have respect for players who want to play on our level and think the portal guys are more talented. Hey, you're not wrong, man. And look, let's get the buyout money ready. Whew, you know, what you said here, subtraction from what I'm hearing. Hey, I mean, just looking at it, when we said it before, one thing that is consistent, right? And one thing my dad says, you don't one thing you don't beat is experience. And when everybody's going left and you're going right, something's probably wrong. In college football, the teams that have the most success tend to do a good job recruiting high school talent. You get what you need from the high schools. You get what you want from the portal. We have inversed that in Tallahassee. And I didn't just say at FAMU. In Tallahassee, you have flipped that. Both schools, you're getting your quarterbacks consistently from the portal. You're getting your offensive linemen, a lot of which from the portal. You're getting your best defensive linemen, usually from the portal. I mean, even your best players are pretty much all from the portal. But how much of that is homegrown, right? Like, just saying. Like, and I'm with you. I don't care for recycled coaches. Only reason I would want some of the recycled coaches if they're winners. Again, I said Johnson C. Smith because that brother's been there 3 years and he's flipped the program. That program was trash. Didn't have the support that he would get at a FAMU. Okay. And it's not a, 7-8 wins. And it's consistent trajectory of increasing his dubs, right? Quinn got like 9 this year. Every other year he's got 6, right? You've been improving the program, but you still got some of the same issues you kind of got with the portal a little bit. Just saying, like, kind of look at people who build programs. Look at what your boy did at Valdosta State. He took it over a program that tradition rich. Let's be honest, them people don't show up football game wise, attendance wise. They play in a high school stadium. They don't play in front of 25,000 people. You look at their attendance, like 5,000, 6,000. You get in the brag, hell, for homecoming. Even if you're losing, it's a sellout. You mess around and get him in some of these classic games, and he's got a history of flipping programs and of winning. Like, that matters. Like, we've done the thing where VU's another one. It's a good program. Like, you're not wrong at all. And honestly, I was on Team Trey Oliver. I was willing to back up the truck with him. Like, exactly. That's the reason why I'm saying is what coach coming here with APR sanctions. I'll be real with you. I would gladly come to FAMU with APR sanctions. Why? It's an extra year. Because when I write that contract, first year's free. Like, that's the first thing I'm saying to you as athletic director. I'm gonna say, hey, year 1, my hands are tied because of stuff that's not my fault. And honestly, it's not Coley's fault either. Like, I told y'all before, that APR really wasn't great. Granted, he didn't have a lot of the support, but go look under Colsey. He might not win games, but he wins the APR battle. You are not the most penalized team in football. You get a few dumb ones, but it ain't like it was. Like, culturally, like, I'm just saying, Colsey's a Randy Shannon. Might not win, but that's what I sell a coach. If that's a move I make. I'm not saying that that's the move you have to make, but I'm saying if that's a move I'm making, I'm giving you a 4-year deal. You're getting 4, like, because the first year I can't even say it's fair because you're getting penalized off of Willie Simmons years, not off of James Colsey years. So from the guy that was head coach, not the last coach, but the coach before that, you're getting penalized for. 2 coaches ago, you're getting penalized. Yeah, you can't charge me for that. That ain't my fault. Now, what I do is I help and I make sure APR-wise, you're good. I make sure all of that, like, hey, make sure we're good because next year we expect to make a run. What are we doing to recruit? What are we doing here? I'm a little more on top of that. And that's why I say for me, like, 4 years, that's a start. You can offer a 3, but as a head coach, I wouldn't take it. So to your point, EA, who's going to take it? Somebody wants to move up. Like, we got to stop unselling your program. I got to give credit to a Kentucky State graduate for the Gus Johnson. A lot of times we don't get because we don't ask. He talked about some of the stuff that's going on at Kentucky State and some of the stuff he's seen and changes he's seen. A lot of times we don't get stuck. We don't ask. Go ask these people how you feel about this FAMU job. Because is it pressure? Yeah. But is it the same pressure you get at a UF or a Miami or hell, a Florida State? Nah. We got our irrational fan base. That's every fan base. But is it the same pressure? Am I expecting you to go to the Celebration Bowl every year? No. Let's keep it a bean. You could come to FAMU and win 8 to 9 games every year. And probably lived a good life, like forever, in perpetuity. You sprinkle in like, let's say 10 years, you guarantee me 8 9 wins, and you get 2 Celebration Bowls in there. You living a good life. I mean, that it's the craziness, to be honest, but that's where we are. And you're gonna make a quarter mil, 3/4 mil. I mean, not 3/4, excuse me, quarter mil. You had that kind of year, you might get some stuff going. Again, we got to stop telling that nobody wants that job. You might not want that job, but a person, I'll tell you, I'll use myself as a perfect example. I want to be assistant principal. I don't want to go to any and every school because I know my personality. But would I gamble and bet on myself to get the opportunity and maybe go out of my way a little bit because I want the opportunity and I want the experience? Absolutely. Like, as a coach, are you going to bet on yourself? Especially if you're a Division II coach and they're making 75, 80,000. That's not a bad salary. But I can get you 200 right now. First year's free. You figure it out. Get you guys in here. Let the sanctions happen. And honestly, the beauty of having sanctions like that, if, let's say, I'll use Quinn Gray as an example. You got a quarterback like the guy he's got there, right? You can either run his butt out there or you could redshirt him and say, hey, man, get your grades right. We got an APR year. Y'all suck it up. It's going to be a tough year. But stay with us. We're going to fix this. Like, it's not an undesirable job. The circumstances aren't perfect. And more than likely, like I told y'all at the beginning of the year, my concern for 26 had nothing to do with recruiting and everything to do with grades. It's probably going to take a hit depending on the transfer portal. And I think that might be some of the reason you also kind of play the game of, hey, this guy might have to finish the year out because however they're going to figure out some of these APR things. And honestly, if the season's going to be a wash, help some of these guys graduate. Like, I think at a certain place, and this is just keep being a next level thinker, right? A certain place, you have to get to a point where you're starting to focus on graduating guys. Like, not for the sake of just graduating them, but to get your APR scores to where you need to be. You may have to push some of these guys like, hey, you're getting really close. Let's help you graduate. Like, just saying. Like, Angela got all football assistants coaches raises, so they're totally in line. What's the top SWAT schools are paying? Yeah. FAMU's one of the highest paying jobs in FCS football. Like, you go pull up that top 25 FCS schools and see their coach's salary and compare to James Colsey's salary. Like, consider the football stadium's new. Again, I told y'all, don't listen to what that man sat up there and told them people, because you already see your boy over there talking about we didn't get the raises we was promised. So don't listen to that man sat there tell you they ain't changed in that state. It's a whole new pan. He ain't been there. He might have been there this season, but it ain't the same. The bathroom's the same. Okay. But ain't the same. Like, strength and conditioning program is better. Like, and it's not better because the coach is better. It's better because, as Uncle Steve pointed out, more people. The student support academically is better. Remember when Willie was there, they were coaches and counselors. Like, they were the football coaches and the tutors. You got some help now. Like, you have systems in place, partially because of the previous administration. Like Tiffany Don Sykes, for whatever you want to say about her, she had that piece right. Yeah, Angel Suggs also coming in there. Kind of got that mama vibe. Like, yo, if your grades ain't right, you ain't playing. Like, you seen Cozy come in there and he's recruiting a different kind of athlete. You notice, I think some of the reason you're trying to get those transfers in there isn't solely for talent. I think some of that is also to get that APR up with the understanding that, hey, if we can get X amount of transfers and they can graduate, that helps our APR too. So I do think there's a little gamesmanship to this, but I think when you're looking at this long term, right, you're going to really put yourself in a tough spot, especially when you know who the new AD guys coming in. You know they all have ties to Florida State. You're going to have to make some tough decisions because your football program cannot be in a place where it routinely takes in less than 1,000 season tickets. And right now, I would struggle to say that going into next season with the product we've seen, that you're able to muster more than 100 season tickets. That's damning because we know at 1,000 season tickets, before you kind of start touching stuff, it's $1 million. It's $1 million. Like, just being honest. Season tickets, parking, that's 1,000 people can make it over $1 million easy. If you can get 10,000 in there, we're in the tens of millions right there. Let them know, Hollow. Losing doesn't help. Like, and losing at a time when I don't feel good about some of the other things going on around me, that's an easy cut. Like when I'm looking to cut bills, it wasn't hard not to go to the game this weekend. It was hard not to see my mom and not to see my dad. But to be like, man, we just stayed up. It's Friday night. We did trick or treat. You know, kids came by. You know, we did all this stuff. Man, and do I really? I stayed. I got a haircut. Man, we talking shooting the breeze till 1 a.m. Do I want to get back on this road at 5 a.m, getting 3.5 hours of sleep and drive for 3.5 hours? Nah, man, I'm good. Especially we're gonna lose. That's what you start having to deal with. That's not complacency. That's folks being real about themselves and saying, I can spend this money on gas. Or you just go to sleep. It's gonna be on TV either way. And it's gonna be ESPN. I just watch on TV. And that's what happened. And I wasn't the only one did that. And if you keep losing, a lot of people gonna be fussing about the games from the friendly confines of their house. So just saying, look, it's not just losing, it's losing and not being competitive at home. That part. Paying about us. That part. Like 1,000 season tickets needs to be the floor. And because with 1,000 season tickets, you've paid off your coach's salary. No nudge, no help from the boosters, no nothing. You always should shoot for 1,000 season tickets at the minimum. You want 5, but you should always shoot for 1,000. And if you're not able to get that, then what are you doing? So I won't say that. Next year's a new year. I can't speak for next year. I can speak for this season. I struggle to see any more than 2 more wins. Even with you playing some of the worst teams in the conference and some of the teams who struggle to score as mightily as they do. Outside of Alabama A&M, I struggle to see a win right now. And the problem is your talent says you should win. You should have won out. Like, if we're judging by talent alone, FAMU should have lost 3 games. But if you're looking at the production on the field, it's very easy to have the glasses that Hollow has and say, I don't see any more wins. So, just being honest with that, though, man. Look, special shout out, though. Gerald from the Times Democrat. Like I told y'all, just late night, working on some stuff, finalizing some things. Hopefully, keep me in your prayers. Hopefully some, finishes in my favor. But he did the recording for me, shared it, and we put it up there. So definitely appreciate that, man. So look, let's say y'all think we can't beat Valley? Not with our offensive production, right? Like for me, I'm big on points per game. Like I do believe that stats can be misleading, but when I'm looking at points per game, especially in football, basketball, yeah, too. Baseball, not so much. Baseball is kind of like you saw the World Series last night. Points per game in football and basketball is such a telling stat. Like you can literally look at what somebody averages points per game, who they average it up, and then make a determination that how likely somebody's to win a game. When I'm looking at FAMU and I'm looking at 16 points being the high against good teams, and I'm seeing that UAPB is putting up points, I got questions. And I don't like the answers. So, all right, good people. Look, tomorrow, catch us on the Monday Night Review. It's going to be Kelvin and I. Uncle Steve, you are more than welcome. I got to check. I'm going to check and see if Brian is there. But even if not, we would love to have you on, get the good rattlers talking and just having some fun, man. Y'all know we're going to talk about it. We're going to see. I told you, I'm going to try to break down some film and kind of see if we can get some of what this was and figure this out, man. So we'll do. You already know. I'll send it to you. All right, y'all. For everybody here at HBCU Digital Network, the wife and the kids, man. Look, we'll catch y'all tomorrow and then Thursday for sure. And it's probably our last live post game until the Florida Classic. So I can't put that in the budget to make those travels. But for the Florida Classic, we will have the post game, and we'll have both post games up there. So for the Florida Classic, so get a little 2-for-1. So, but until then, you already know what's up, what it's gonna be. We'll catch y'all tomorrow with the Monday night show. I think Brian gonna give me the keys again. So we're gonna try and clean up a little bit. I think he grew in me to get on the ONG strike zone. But for everybody here, man, y'all already know what's up, and I'll see y'all in person at the Florida Classic and at the Nuke tailgate, because y'all know we're gonna win the yard. Y'all already know what's up, what it's always gonna be though. Thanks up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Dorsey, have it!